Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. It's Peliculas with the bros. We're back. We shouldn't have left you for so long, but we are back. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a podcast where me and my brother discuss movies. Every week we do a new movie. This week, Ivan, what movie are we doing?
The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Yes. But before we get into that, I would like to say thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to listen to us podcast form, you can find us on all podcast platforms. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts. I don't even know if that's a thing, but Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Deezer, any podcast platform that you use, we're most likely on there. So look us up, Peliculas with the Bros. If you're into movies, if you're into two guys talking about movies, each week we do a new movie, and we also talk about the culture at the end of the podcast. If you're into the culture, if you're not into the culture, go get some yogurt because yogurt has some culture.
Oh, wow.
Woo.
Wow.
Like that?
Nah, retrospectively, no.
Okay. But if you like watching us, if you like to view your content more than listen to it, you can go to YouTube, look us up, Peliculas with the Bros. We will be there waiting for you with open arms. And if you don't mind, leave a comment, leave a review wherever you're at, and we like to talk to you guys, and we talk back. Just look at the 5 comments we've got so far, and you can see we have replied to all of them. Ivan.
Yeah.
Today we are but of crow, balking at thee, the bodily splendor that no man of God shall hence deny.
Wow.
Of an artist's idea of an idea, the frivolous of us might say a remake. But thy who is true in heart, for thy heart is but of a tenderness that only our Lord understands, will name this idea a film. Ivan, what's the movie we're doing?
The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Correct. Do you like that? I made that up. Proud?
Sure.
You're a proud boy. Oops. The Tragedy of Macbeth, the premise set in the 1000s, early 1000s.
It's embarrassing.
I know. Set in the 1000s, Macbeth has led the King of Scotland's army to victory. In return, King Duncan makes Macbeth Thane of Cawdor. But power is a mischievous thing, and it consumes Macbeth as he learns of his future from 3 witches. He is set to become king. Hearing this consumes Macbeth and his wife, Lady Macbeth. Led by the wife, they plot to take the crown, but like I said, power is a mischievous thing. With the cast of Denzel Washington as Lord Macbeth, Frances McDormand as Lady Macbeth, Alex Hassel as Ross, Bertie Carvel as Banquo, Corey Hawkins as Macduff, aka Dr. Dre, Harry Melling as Malcolm, Duncan's older son, Catherine Hunter as the Witches, wow, what a role, Brendan Gleeson as King Duncan, Miles Anderson as Lennox, Matt Helm as Donald Bane, Moses Ingram as Lady Macduff. Lady Macduff, sorry. Ethan Hutchinson as Macduff, Scott Sabino as Brian Thompson as the murderers, Lucas Barker as Fleance, and Stephen Root, as the porter. Ivan, we have The Tragedy of Macbeth. This movie is directed and written by the great Joel Coen, one half of the Coen brothers. First time a Coen brother has made a film by himself. The Coens, Ivan. Oh, the Coens.
All right.
They are a filmmaker that we talk about very sparingly. I would say we never talk about them, actually.
Yeah.
Which is a tragedy. Because
Yeah.
they're considered... they should be up there with the Scorseses, the Tarantinos, the P.T. Andersons, you know? We just don't give them their credit. But today we're gonna correct that. Their movies. They have looks like over 10 movies. Blood Simple, Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink, The Hudsucker Proxy, Fargo, The Big Lebowski, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, The Man Who Wasn't There, Intolerable Cruelty, The Lady Killers, No Country for Old Men, Burn After Reading, A Serious Man, True Grit, Inside Llewyn Davis, Hail Caesar, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, The Tragedy of Macbeth is the latest. Ivan, how many of those films have you seen off the top?
Probably 2, 3.
I think I've seen 4 or 5.
Wow.
Doesn't make me any better than you, okay?
Implied.
No, other things make me better than you, not that. All right. Ivan, when you think of the Coen brothers, what do you think of?
Oh,
Or if anything, I don't know.
like a little funny, but a dramedy, perhaps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have honestly, I am not the person you want to hear talk about the Coens,
Then don't.
but I must. And I assume after this movie, it's gonna open up my eyes to watching more of their films now that I'm looking at them more critically. But yes, their films have that drama comedy touch, and also a lot of the films have crime in them. They're known for meshing their genres more than other directors, but they do take an affinity to crime movies. Most of their films are sort of crime involved. Also like noir, but not noir in the sense of
Beat it, tits.
yeah, not like that noir. Not the noir we went into depth in the last podcast, but more like noir as a genre, like westerns, western noirs. So we're gonna be a western noir genre. I don't know what I'm saying, but something like that.
Sure.
But for me, they've always sort of been hard to pinpoint. Like when I think of the Coens, I'm like, I can't really tell you exactly what's their topic of choice or what's their idea they're trying to distill, you know. I thought that was because that they make different kinds of movies, but now that I think about it, it's more that I haven't really watched enough of their films. But they are auteurs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they are considered one of the greater directors in the game. And it seems like all of their films are very meticulous, at least, or like very thought out. But why are they not discussed, at least in our discussions with the Tarantinos and the like? Because even like we talk about like Jordan Peele as an auteur, and we never talk about these guys as auteurs.
I think they haven't had much like amazing or like groundbreaking. There's a better word in the last like 2 or 3 movies. Like, even this, it's like it's a remake,
Right.
and it's already pre-written. Technically,
I think it's also like their topics and their style isn't what we naturally gravitate to.
I would think I would, because I like the idea of it being funny and serious.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like, kind of like, well, that's Mad Men. It's serious, but has funny moments.
Right.
And it's just funny because like life's funny sort of way. But they kind of lean more into making funny moments.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And their topics aren't really like the topics of their movies are not very of the time, I would say. Like you can obviously see it with this movie. They're not talking about anything that's they're not directly talking about something that happened in the past 10 or 15 years.
Right.
And then I'm looking at like the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Obviously, that's a western, basically.
It's like a story. They want to make stories, but no like politically charged cultural message.
Even though there might be ones
Yeah,
that are
but
imbued.
it's not like a Matrix.
Right.
It
Exactly.
doesn't have it in like, oh, this is obviously talking about this here in
Yeah.
2018.
Correct. Yeah. I think of them as like auteurs in like the most humble auteurs of our day, where you have like if you just look at the history of cinema, you have Kubrick, Scorsese, Tarantino, P.T. Anderson, Jordan Peele, like
They're
latest.
approachable auteurs. Because I think they're well made and they're good for the most part. But I also think anyone can watch their movies.
Yes.
So, but you can't really say that for. Well, you can watch Tarantino movies, but I'd say it's a little more like you can split an audience with his movies.
Yeah.
There's a possibility. But with this, it's like, if you don't like it, I don't know. You're kind of weird. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's just like straight up entertainment in a way.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna take one of like True Grit, okay? True Grit is a Western. And if I show that to my mom has a movie, like, hey mom, let's watch a movie together. We'll watch True Grit. She's like, yeah, we'll watch it. And she'll watch it and she'll be like, that was either a good movie or it was kind of boring, but whatever. I watched it, right? But if you show her Tarantino's Django Unchained, she gonna be like,
Unrealistic.
that was a little too much for me.
Yeah.
For this Colombian lady. All right?
Hey, come on.
And that's because the flair that he has,
Yeah.
that Tarantino has, that maybe the Coen brothers are lacking. But that missing piece is sort of what makes them at the same time, right? So there's that. If they were a rapper, who would they be? I have one, but I wanted to see what you're thinking.
If they were a rapper, let's describe them. They're approachable but well made.
They're intricate, but not too intricate.
Yeah.
Like if you look into it, they're super intricate, but if you're just taking them on surface level, they're like, oh, it's just a movie. They make great films.
Okay.
They critically acclaimed.
All right.
They write almost everything they do.
Just say who. I don't know.
Jay-Z.
I feel like Jay-Z's like
I think it's Jay-Z, but without the
cockiness.
no. But yeah, sure. But I think it's like when you're comparing to rappers, you're inherently assuming everyone's cocky in a way. So it's like you can't really judge them on that.
Yeah.
I think they're Jay-Z without like the super commercial success.
Okay.
Or even like a Common, but not even a Common. They're too.
I think Common's close, but it's not Common.
Nas.
Nah, he's not that approachable.
Approachable rapper.
The good era of Chance the Rapper.
Yeah, a little bit.
Good era of Childish Gambino. Childish Gambino, besides his last album.
It's funny. I never really listened to his last album.
I didn't want to. It was annoying me.
I hate that it had a white album cover.
Yeah. Who would choose one color
I know.
for an album?
And if you're gonna choose a color, choose black.
Hey! Oh, yeah, you're right.
So who are you gonna settle with? Because we're not gonna think of it now. I'm gonna say Jay-Z just because of like all of those facts of being like writing, making good stuff, critical acclaim, humble in a way.
Well, then we have to put in a rapper who our mom would possibly enjoy too.
Will Smith. No, it's more like a rapper whose songs like, oh, I was like, oh yeah, I like this song. But not like their whole
Yeah.
discography.
Pharrell?
Nah, it's too poppy. It has to be like they have to be able to rap. It's hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Let's talk about this movie.
Okay.
The Tragedy of Macbeth is based on a Shakespeare play written in the early 1600s, Evan. It's crazy, huh?
You know, I looked it up yesterday, and Shakespeare is credited with making over 1,700 words.
Yep.
And I was thinking, like, in a way, he's like so underrated, but he's obviously not underrated because he's like in our school system. But I think, we gotta sometimes just take a moment of silence for him, because he's literally like bigger than Kanye, bigger than Drake at that time.
This was a subject I was gonna broach later. But we're here.
I'm glad I broached it before you're broaching.
And after this, I'm gonna poach an egg.
Oh.
Yeah. Shakespeare is the Dundada of
The heck?
of plays.
Dundada?
If you listen to old school rap, you would understand.
Thank God I don't understand.
Yeah. He's written a lot of plays, and a lot of his plays have gone on to be remade. And then the idea that the like central plots of his plays are basically the plots of the movies that you love today, you know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people's a more recent example is West Side Story. I think the idea is like that's a play of Shakespeare, but it's just not called that name.
Right.
It's based off of a play, right? And then the idea that one man can have so much power. Shout out to Kanye. No, I just said that because I thought of Kanye. One man's plays are like just still used in today, you know, from that time. And it's also the fact that when you're the first one to do something, you're obviously going to be like the guy.
Yeah.
And he just happened to be that guy who decided to do the thing in the 1600s. So almost by de facto, he's going to have a lot of influence.
And he's so in our culture that we don't even like notice. Like, I'm sure everyone uses a word. He's made.
Yeah.
Like, imagine an artist today. Imagine Kanye just making up words.
Well, that's Kanye's one of his arguments as of late of like, we should be able to dictate the culture because we control it.
Yeah.
And he even cites Shakespeare. He's like, Shakespeare made up half of our language. He's like, if he can do that, then I can do that.
He's right.
And that's when he starts using different words, and he's like, well, get used to it because this is the new language.
I think he's not going to be the one to do it, but he's definitely going to inspire the people who will do it.
Yeah.
To like make up words or really break something in like just the norm.
Yep.
Because I'm sure at the time Shakespeare, he was like, people were like, you can't just make up words and do whatever you want. And those people are dead as a doornail. And we don't hear about like, besides like scholars who like research, we don't hear about the Shakespeare haters at all. It just like, if you hate Shakespeare, it's like, you just don't want to read it. Like, I don't want to read Shakespeare because it's like difficult.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it. You know? Like,
yeah.
There's no way I could say, oh, it's bad.
Right.
Like, I have no logic there.
So what we're talking about is that Shakespeare, if you have never heard a Shakespeare play or words
Tell
from Shakespeare.
the folks at home who Shakespeare is.
Shakespeare has this style that's very, it's described as like almost redundant, very poetic. His like when he writes something, it's more of a poem than it is like straight up dialogue, you know, which is super unique. Now that I'm old enough to like it, to appreciate it, I should say.
And crazy, like difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not so much for him, but I would imagine learning how to do that. Like he's literally writing songs, but like with the story, but they don't sing. It's just they're just talking in like song form. Like I can't. It's hard to wrap my head around that.
If you guys were listening since the beginning of the podcast, I did a little soliloquy in the beginning where I tried to do my Shakespearean impression, and that was so hard for me to like even like. Okay, how does one sound like Shakespeare? Like I obviously did a horrible job, but I still don't know like what I'm going for, because it is sort of rhyming, and it is sort of like lyrical, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know he must have like a rubric, like
Yeah.
I want to say my name is Adrian, so that's his like first idea. It's like, okay, my rubric to change that to thou Adrian is my nameth. And if you sayeth, I will playeth. I don't know, whatever. He has a rubric to figure that out, probably, like an equation.
I wonder if there's like a autobiography or a biography of him that's like gets into it, because it's obviously a skill he learned in some way.
Yeah.
But how would you even to be the first one to ever do it? Like that's a self-taught skill of like that kind, like unprecedented.
Right. And there's, like you said, other people of today can do it, and obviously like there's words that we use today that didn't exist before because of like the millennials and the what's after millennials?
Gen Z.
Zoomers?
Hey, you can't just say that.
That's a great name. I want to be a Zoomer.
Well, it's like
It sounds so much fun.
zoom, zoom.
But yeah, so words could be made up today, and who knows, maybe there will be someone that does it. I was also thinking about how like in movies this could be done today, and I was thinking about like Ryan Johnson, the guy that made your favorite movie, The Last Jedi. Looper. But his first movie, I think, was Brick, or one of his first movies.
Yep.
And in that movie, the dialogue used is very nonsensical and like meta, and also I think made up, you know, like.
I never watched it.
And I to your point of like the critics die and this lives on, you know, anyone who does something unique like this would immediately garner like something unique, obviously, but it could last a long time. Like I'm sort of surprised that no one's really has gone down this route more recently.
What, as in like make stuff up?
Yeah, make almost like a poetic type of new type of talking.
It's in the works. I know a guy. Oh,
You're like, actually, let me text him right now.
this is what you want working. Shakespeare point 2? Wow, good job.
2.0, not 0.2.
No, point 2. I think it's part of like our next phase of art, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, what's being changed? What's new today? Nothing. Everything's remakes. Everything's based off Young Thug or Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I'm trying to branch out, just like with music, to see like other planets.
Yes.
You know? What, like, is there anything new going on here?
Yep.
Here in the rap world, we're dying.
No, Buzz.
We're running out of oxygen. That's kind of why I'm trying to read fiction more, to see like that universe. See, like, you guys doing good over here?
Yeah.
What's new? What's
Everyone
poppin'?
dying over here too? Yeah, that's what I thought.
But if I can like find that universe where like, yo, we found new tech.
Yes.
We're evolving as a species.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to this. See the rap world. I'm going to, I don't know,
nonfiction.
Creative knitting world.
Yeah.
The next generation. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we have to break some sort of normative barrier, I think is the best way to say it. And that's basically what Kanye's saying. But he's just too outlandish.
And I don't think he's going to do the work to actually do it.
Yeah, he's definitely like I don't know what an equivalent is, but
He's the guy before Shakespeare. He's the guy that influenced Shakespeare to do this.
poor guy. No, but even that guy would be good. I think he's more like, I don't know, but he already had his artistic moment,
Yes.
and now it's time for all of the people who he inspired to take his message and like distill it into whatever's next.
Yeah.
He is Shakespeare.
How?
He is Shakespeare. Because he's going to be the one who does that shift in the culture.
But he's not going to one that actually makes the creative piece that shifts the culture. He's the one that influences the creative piece.
I think just his whole life is that thing. His whole life, his music, how he talks to his kids, his media persona, that's Shakespeare's work.
So the idea is a rapper who actually brings poeticism back
To life.
in a unique way. Because like you can argue Kendrick is poetic,
Yeah.
but in a unique way, as in almost nonsensical, like almost non-coherent, or
Kanye.
coherent to
Kanye.
what?
Are you saying Kanye?
No,
Kendrick?
Kendrick.
Okay.
Like a non-coherent but coherent to them, Kendrick.
Who's them?
Whoever the next guy is or girl.
Okay, say it again.
The next guy or girl, for them to truly be 2.0,
Mm-hmm.
they need to be Shakespearean
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of poetic and very complex poems.
Okay. But in their medium. Not like it doesn't have to be literally poem, just like complex next thing.
Well, no, because you could be a beat maker. You can be like a experimental beat maker and be very complex, but they're not considered the next thing. I'm talking about rap 2.0 specifically.
Okay.
So they need to be Kendrick like,
Yeah.
but also Shakespearean like, and Kanye like. Notice that Drake wasn't even mentioned in that. Oh, God.
I think, man, poor Drake. Not poor Drake because he's rich, but he definitely will not.
It's a rich Drake. Rich Drake.
Rich Drake. Stupid. It's going to be interesting to see his legacy in like 50 years when he's like out of it. Because he's like the ultimate hit maker. But I don't know who else in history is like that, where he's like brought in the money, but not really much. He has art in him, but he not exactly art, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think he'll be like a rock band. And the rock band is...
AC/DC?
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah, because it's like some of their songs are still playable. A lot of the songs are still playable. You always have the diehards who will always listen to them. And then like you'll be able to show one or two of their songs to your grandson. And like, oh, this song's pretty good.
But no, like...
But you can't... he's not the Beatles.
Right. There's no legacy to him besides he made a buttload of money.
And a couple of his songs are gonna be his legacy. Yeah. But then Kanye, he's more like I don't think he's even like the Beatles, because I don't think a lot of
He's the Beatles if you consider his whole life.
no, just music.
Just music? You're pigeonholing him
Yep.
to his music? It's tough.
I would say like even his stuff, his like social media stuff, that stuff is not going to be remembered too much, only in like literature, because you can't really quantify that easily. Like when you try to think of like past artists and like their kerfuffle in the media or stuff like that, like it's only documented through like movies, stories, and stuff like that.
We can't quantify it yet.
Until you have NFTs, baby. Make it an NFT.
NFT, Kanye's life story.
We're digressing, Ivan. We need to talk about Macbeth.
All right.
But that's a good little talk about Shakespeare.
Mm.
Where'd you watch Tragedy of Macbeth, Ivan?
AMC La Jolla.
Oh, lucky. I watched it in my right there, actually.
I probably would have watched it like right there, but I forgot that it was Apple, and then I saw it on the screen. I was like, I could have watched this at home.
It looked like a great movie to watch at the theaters because of how it looked.
Yeah, it was, but I don't know.
You like watching at home?
Eh.
You're lazy.
I'm pretty neutral, but like, if I had the option, I was like, might as well just watch it at home.
Yeah.
But I was already there, so whatever.
Were you excited for this movie at all?
Yeah, just because I never, in my prime right now, I've never
I like that.
experienced Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Like I read like Othello in high school.
Ugh. Kill me.
I remember I liked the plot, but getting through it was not fun.
Yeah.
So now it's like, all right, I'm an adult. I can sit down,
Yeah.
And I was excited.
When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this looks super interesting. But I wasn't too excited this whole time leading up. And then when I started watching it, I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready. What did you think about it?
Difficult.
I agree.
But I think I was thinking this throughout the movie, but you really don't have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Because they're acted well.
Yeah.
And they kind of say what they mean with just their body.
Yes.
And
it's like you're watching this whole movie. You're like, I don't understand what they're doing, but he's mad. Oh, I'm mad too, man.
I mean, basically.
Yeah, I know. I just thought of the idea, like not understanding anything, but
I like an idiot watches a movie. You mad? I'm mad now.
Oh god. Yeah, I get you though. I felt the same way.
But I mean, I tried to pay attention to what they were saying, but at times it was like I was swimming through like Jello.
Yeah,
that was cold.
So hard.
Well,
let me speak to that point. When I first watched it, I watched it twice. When I first watched it, I was falling asleep because I was trying to not drink coffee for one day because of the anxiety attack I had the previous day.
Okay.
So I watched the first 20 minutes and I was falling asleep because like it was so complex. I'm like, oh god, and I was so tired. I was falling asleep. So the next day I watched it fresh, and I was like, okay, it is still complex. It wasn't just the coffee that wasn't there. Yeah. But like you said, you can watch it and try to dissect it, what they're trying to say, but you could still read upon it without having to really dissect every single word.
Yeah, because it's a simple story. He just wants it to be like illustrative.
Yes, it is a simple story.
Lush.
But once you got past that barrier of entry of the poeticness of it, what else did you think about it?
Black and white. I didn't know. I knew, but I forgot. Because I didn't really watch the trailers. Like I probably watched it once, but absent-mindedly.
Yeah.
You know? But I didn't really care after like 2 minutes. I don't think I ever care anymore because It doesn't look black and white because they know how to put things in shots where like it contrasts well enough where you could see every part of the face. It's not like black,
Right.
white.
Right.
It's just super shades of gray.
Yes.
Maybe that's the life lesson, cultural life lesson, the shades of gray that we don't talk about.
Ah. Not so much the story, but all the gray that was in the movie. Yeah, I love the black and white of it all. But while watching, I had that same feeling of like this movie doesn't actually feel black and white. It feels more like everything is actually black or white.
Uh-huh.
Like it wasn't filmed in black and white. The actual color that they're wearing is just black and white.
Yeah.
Which was a cool feeling because I think the way they did that is everything was sort of black and white, but the fact that it was shot in black and white helped too.
I don't remember. Like, I read it a while ago, but they have to like consciously plan every item in clothing.
Yeah.
And like the lens and whatever to prepare for black and white.
Damn. Yeah, that sounds super familiar now that you say that.
I probably read it somewhere from like the Zack Snyder thing because he did that black and white.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then I love the set designs. Like everything sort of looked like a graphic design poster, you know?
Minimalist too.
Minimalist. Everything looked like if you took a photo of a still of a frame from this, it could be a poster. Like so many of the shadow effects from the castle, like a bunch of framing shots. I was like, damn, everything looks like sort of like almost Wes Anderson like set up exactly a certain way. Which was cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
I was trying to like watch it because I know it's a play, so it's different from like just a straight up movie. Because I haven't read the script, but I'm sure it has to be like word for word.
Close, right? Yeah. It's closer than most. Yep.
And they have to like memorize like these set of lines that are almost gibberish.
Yes.
In a way.
Yep.
And then they have to put in the correct emotion, so like you can't fake at all like you have to understand what your line's saying exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to read like, what fresh merry weather in the crow's nest is this?
Right.
And you have to perfectly emote that onto the camera.
Uh-huh.
Because if you don't, it's like you don't know anything. You're just saying it. You're not.
Like, you're like me. You don't know what we're talking about, are we?
So it blows my mind that like they're all doing that.
Yeah.
So I was just watching like their face, like trying to match it to what they're saying.
Yes.
Like correct emotion. Good job.
Yeah. The person that doesn't know what it means is trying to analyze if they're doing the right way.
Hey, I did it a couple times and I lost my train of thought sometimes. But
I do like, yeah, that's true. The actors, and to that point, the acting in this film, it works very well. Like everyone's bringing their A game. Like you literally have to be able to act in this.
yeah,
If you can't act, who's an actor that can't act?
me.
Okay. Like Wonder Woman. What's her name? Gal Gadot.
Wow.
Like put her in this and she'll be like smiling when she says like the bad parts.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gal Gadot. I shouldn't have said that. But you know what? We're never gonna have her on the podcast. Yeah, the acting in this is crazy.
I would say like a comedian actor who just like what's his face? Aziz Ansari.
Right.
Because he can act, but as far as like a comedy, he's playing himself.
Yep.
Most of the time.
Yep.
So him and Shakespeare, I think it would be really funny. But I mean, I'm sure he could do it seriously.
Yeah.
But it would be very hard for him. Whereas like Denzel, he's reading it. He has it.
Francis McDormand.
Yeah.
Oscar winner. And then Dr. Dre. What's his name? Sorry, I keep calling him Dr. Dre. Corey Hawkins.
Okay.
He's very good. The witches, dude.
Gross.
Oh my god, they're my favorite part of the movie.
Very textured faces.
Her voice is just like it'll haunt you, you know? It'll haunt you.
It must be weird. This is like very rude. It must be weird being like to look like that, you know?
Yeah.
And have like those craggliness in your face where it's like you just see like the wrinkles, but like there's shadows in there, you know?
You got a shadow in that wrinkle, boy.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like just to think like there's shadows in your face
Yeah.
because of how old you are.
Yeah. And how much you smoked, because she's a smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely up there with like who's the guy that did Golem?
Andy Serkis.
Like I would say that competes with Golem. Andy Serkis's Golem acting.
Okay.
Like she's so good in this film. Yeah, and then I think half of the like obviously the movie's very Shakespearean, poetic. I think that's sort of like what keeps me intrigued too. Like to me it was a game figuring out what they were saying. So I'm like oh, okay, I think I understood that. So I think that is also what helped me sort of like the film more, because it kept me extra entertained by trying to be understanding what's going on.
I don't get how they try to teach us Shakespeare in high school. Like, I feel like they have no concept of how dumb kids are. 'Cause like, what kid who can understand this?
Preach.
Like, it has to be a class, like a Shakespeare class. Like, if I ran a school, I would just be reading like just fun books. And then like if they're later in their adulthood, they're like, oh, I want to get into the real stuff, Shakespeare.
Yep.
Why in God's green earth would they?
Why did they give you the Odyssey? Why did they give you Don Quixote? Like, I'm not going to learn anything because I don't understand it.
And I don't like it. It's not
You're just
fun.
making me learn complex things. It's like the idea is like throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Like, if they gave me fun books, I would have been reading sooner.
I like The Catcher in the Rye. That book was fun to me. Even though it was like old, I still liked it because like the guy was like a bad guy, like a ram. Was it ram?
Rapscallion.
Rapscallion. The word you always use. Yep.
But yeah, school sucks.
Yeah. Hire the Frosty Brothers to redo your literature,
Creative
your
directors.
curricular.
Creative directors of school.
You just come in with sunglasses. We're here.
Kick that kid out. Kick him out right now.
He's white. Put him in that class.
Oh.
He's black.
Oh.
Put him in that
Oh,
class.
no.
No, I put him in the same class. See? Good.
Jeez.
We'll be right back after this short break. Denzel as Macbeth.
He definitely plays himself a bit here. But it's not a bad thing. Just like you could see Denzel in the character.
Yeah. He's almost like, it's like almost too famous to.
Yeah.
I didn't see it that way too much, but yeah, I can definitely see why people feel that way. Also, like Francis McDormand and all these people that are kind of like pretty famous, except for the supporting characters. They're all not too well known. Like Ross, the guy that's like the bitch of the crew that's always like sneaking around, and like the Machiavellian guy. He was cool. Like how he always like was thinking 2 steps ahead. I love the scene where King Duncan was like, is the traitor dead? Is Thane of Cawdor dead? And Ross is like, his face looked like he never had he always regretted this moment. Like he tried to go like he was like trying to read his face. And King Duncan's like, shut up. You can't read a man's face. He's a good man, all right. I love that idea of like, that's basically, the. I feel like Ross was Shakespeare, and King Duncan was like the critics.
Oh,
It's like, stop being so poetic. The
little
guy was a cool guy, and that's it.
meta commentary.
Yeah.
Interdesting.
What parts of the movie did you like specifically?
I don't know. It's horrible, but I like the end fight.
I like
and
that.
It's just like, I know, but it's like basic.
Oh, okay.
Where he's just on the throne waiting to like fight for everything. And then I love that final scene where he like reaches for the crown. And like it's such a like obvious symbolism, but it's so cool to see that. Looks back, boom, and then the crown flies.
Yeah.
It was just a nice little sequence.
Yeah, good symbolism there. I love any scenes with the witches. I particularly love the first scene where she's doing her rhyming and she's like in her yoga crow pose. She has a thumb in her toenails. And then I love when she's like, she's like balking. And then when she's like, I was like, oh man, that's so stupid and funny and hilarious, and I love it. Like, oh man, those fingers. Oh man, I could hear that any day. Yeah, I liked your scene too, the end scene. What other scene I liked? I like when the witches are making gumbo.
Oh yeah, that was weird because like they said like bubble, toil and trouble.
And then you realize, oh,
Yeah,
this whole time I've been influenced by Shakespeare and I've never
Yeah.
realized. Yeah, I had the
that was a
exact same
little,
feeling.
like I felt offended. I felt used my whole life.
You're like, wait, I thought Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen made that up.
Yeah,
Because, you know, they made a movie called Bubble Boil Twinge.
I was thinking more like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Well, I think those sisters are these sisters. Like, what was their sister? The names?
I don't know.
The shout out to Hocus Pocus. Number 2 is coming out this year. You excited? No, you are.
Are they coming back?
Yeah.
I'm interested.
We'll do a podcast on it. I like the scene where Ross tells Macduff what's happening in Scotland. He's like, I have some bad news, but if I tell you, I hope you don't kill me. He's like, all right,
Yes.
be with it.
Be with it if you must. Just say it.
And then he's like, yeah, your babes were slaughtered.
Reminds me of Greg in the Succession, the trial scene. If it is to be said, then let it be said. He's like, what?
Oh, Greg. Oh, now I have to watch that season again.
He's a little Shakespeare in him, huh?
Yeah. He's like, oh, I wish I could watch it right now so I could say it specifically. He's like, why are you being so formal? I just want to say it in the correct manner.
In the correct manner that needs to be said?
Oh, man. Shout out to Greg. Rewatch it. Sorry, no. Let me get to the other part. Why did Joel Coen make this film?
He's bored. Had nothing to do. Might as well. I think it's like everyone has that little project where it's like useless, but it'd be fun to do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't mean useless in like a negative way,
Yeah.
but just like this really doesn't need to be made.
Right.
But it's not bad that it was made. But he probably has the time.
Yeah, like, this is his throwaway movie, but like, there's millions of far worse throwaway movies on Netflix right now. Like, I'm glad we get a throwaway movie from one of the greats.
And it feels like finally like just a solid Shakespeare like movie
Yes.
that's like just there forever. Like
and
this is-
current.
yeah, it's just timeless now.
Yeah.
Like I think any other Macbeth
Give me that Macbeth.
any other Macbeth movies that are made would be like super redundant because like they basically perfected it here.
Yes. Yeah, I like the idea of like, let's remake something every 50 years for the next 50
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's why they keep remaking like old hip hop songs, but I don't agree with those remakes.
You
Like-
mean like sample?
Yeah, like 2 Chainz just came out with his album where he sampled Laffy Taffy,
Oh, really?
dun dun dun,
That's funny.
and I'm like, where are you taking this 2 Chainz? He didn't really succeed on what he tried, but it wasn't horrible.
I have a take on sampling that we could probably go into later.
Okay, I like that. Rewatchability, Ivan.
Probably medium to high, but over like a long period of time.
Yeah,
Like I'll rewatch this one day when I
5
hit
years.
another one of my primes.
I'm ready to dissect Shakespeare again.
Yeah, but like this is a one day, but not soon. I want when I'm ready.
I have high as well. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it tomorrow, but I'll watch it next year probably. Let's rate this movie, Evan. Out of 5 tickets, or in your case, 5 crows. How many
crowns?
5? No, crows.
5 crowns, because it's spelled the same. Crowns.
5
That's
crow
like
ounds.
that's a little symbolism, huh? Maybe he intended that the crows, the crowns.
5 crow ounds of corridor. How many?
Give it a 4.25.
4.5 for me. 4.5 for me. 4.25 for my brother Ivan. And 4.5 for me.
Ma'am.
Movie's good. Movie's great. We've actually been really spoiled lately. I feel like for the next couple months we're gonna have bad movies. Until
With that attitude, we will.
for sure. Especially that movie you want to watch, Moonfall.
We should watch it, man.
We probably will. Because there's nothing coming out since so.
I'm excited for like just the popcorniness of it all. Like I saw a trailer snippet and it was like,
You're like,
ooh, yes.
Marvel wasn't giving this to me, so I gotta get it somewhere else.
Exactly.
Baby. All right.
I just want to see like the pure destruction. Like, ugh.
I just want to see you in the back laughing.
Basically.
Cool. Well, that's it for Peliculas with the Bros, the first segment where we talk about a movie. Tragedy of Macbeth. Shout out to the Coen brothers and Joel Coen specifically. We'll watch more Coen brothers as we go on in our lives. Thank you very much. Ivan, it's time. It's time for a section we'd like to call...
Things and such.
Time it so you can breathe. Rihanna, A$AP Rocky.
Crazy. What's my take? You ask.
You asketh, I giveth.
It's weird. Not in a bad way, but like it's like cuz it's definitely publicized by her. You know, she's definitely making this like a point
Yeah.
to say.
Yep.
I don't know, but I mean Beyonce did it when she did like a photo shoot with like her belly out.
Yeah.
But this is different because it's kind of more a straight up candid shot of her like wearing her pregnancy as like a fashion piece almost.
Oh, that's a good take. Okay.
Whereas like Beyonce, she kind of framed hers as like a painting,
Uh-huh.
but she never had like a picture of her with it out and she's like wearing it, you know?
Yeah.
But Rihanna's like, it's a different take on like pregnancy. It's weird.
Well, at least in that photo it was, right?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be more, but it's interesting that like her first way to like let us know she's pregnant is in like a fashion statement.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's weird to call a pregnancy a fashion piece.
Right. Because she probably wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but it's definitely she's using it as one.
Yes.
But not using exactly. More like she's pregnant and she's working her pregnancy into her fashion.
Right.
Into her fit, as they
Yes.
say, which is like so like out of the box sort of thinking, because I don't think I can't. Because for one, only a woman can do this, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a lot of different thoughts of like, this is different.
Yeah. It could be a shift. It's definitely, now that you say that, it's opening a bunch of pathways in my brainial matter. And I'm thinking like probably what you're trying to say too is like it'll influence people to think of things differently
Yeah.
as far as pregnancy, how to use it or like how to own it.
Yeah.
And it can be influential in that way. And it's very powerful coming from probably top 3 in artists in the
Yeah.
world.
She's like one of the. I mean, I know she doesn't write too much of her own stuff.
Yeah.
But she's super artistic.
She's like Madonna. Well, I don't even know. I shouldn't say that.
I don't know
'cause
Madonna
about
too well. I just know
Yeah.
she's not that good these days. She's kind of going out of her mind.
Yeah, she is. She looks like a white Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her boy ASAP Rocky. I saw it coming, man.
You did?
When he came 2011, I was like, this guy, he's gonna be something.
How do you think Drake's doing with this snooze?
That's the obvious go-to question, and let me tell you, he's just fine.
No, he's not.
I don't know, man. That is a
He's
interesting
gonna
thing.
make a good album. So
Yeah, that I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast, and he's like, "You're crazy if you don't think that we're not gonna get Take Care Part 2." I
it
was
would
like,
be pretty perfect for him to like really get something from this, because like I think Rihanna's like definitely the one that got away from him.
yeah, it
and
seems like that.
He's never been self-aware enough to realize like it's definitely him, or maybe he has, but he always. I don't see it in his art, and I think if art's like a reflection of how you're thinking, he's not, or maybe he's just hiding it from us, like the shame of it all. But I think now he's like, you know what? I lost. She got away permanently. I need to musically get this out of my system.
Yeah, we probably are gonna be thanking ASAP for this, for evolving Drake to Frieza level 5, when he was stuck at Frieza level 4 for too long.
It's like when Krillin died,
Yes.
and then Goku's like,
Great impersonation. He always does that.
it's like the anger but the power mixed together. It hurts.
And I never would have thought, I was making a joke earlier that I sort of thought ASAP Rocky was like the next, he's going to be huge, but I never thought he's going to be huge because of this. Because, you know, he doesn't really care about, I shouldn't say that.
I know where you're.
He cares about his music, but he doesn't really care about the fame that comes with it, I think.
I think he played his cards superbly, because like he never cared, but he focused on just the art of everything, like fashion, his music, and like he's always released solid things, and now it's finally like paying back.
Yeah.
Whereas like he's gonna be a superstar, but the most casual superstar ever.
Yeah, he's going to be the coolest guy you've ever known.
Yeah. I want to talk to him. I want to be his friend.
Yeah.
And I think that's like part of the new wave of like what's coming next. Just these celebrities who are very aware of their fame, but they're like, you know, it's just a part of it. Like I'm a person and I'm an artist. It's not gonna be like I'm the sixth god. I'm Drakkar. You know, because Drake definitely plays into him being famous for being Drake.
Yeah.
ASAP Rocky doesn't. He's just like, hey, it's me, I'm Rocky, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like, the essence of what's next.
Yeah.
Just that.
The
being-
realism.
Yeah.
ASAP Rocky. Who would have thought? The great scholar of our time. And
And then the white eyes rolled back.
Great times. Madame Web movie coming out probably in 2 years or now, but Dakota Johnson's gonna be a spin-off movie playing Madame Web from the Spider-Man universe. More
By Sony?
You know it.
I guess I'll watch it.
Just more Spider-Man content. I don't know if we needed it, but you're gonna get Venom. You're gonna get into the Spider-Man into what is it? Into the metaverse? What is it?
What is it? I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
And then obviously all the bad guy spin-off movies that are most likely gonna happen, which is gonna be interesting. Cause like Mobius looks. Is it Mobius or Morbius? Morbius looks like it's like a.
Very
doesn't
generic.
even look like a superhero movie. It just looks like a action movie. And I feel like a lot of those movies are gonna go the same way.
I just can't see this surviving, like the Spider-Man universe they're trying to create. Because it's so like, they're in a little shell.
Yeah.
Whereas like Marvel, they have so many characters they could, and we don't like them, we'll kill them off. Like you can't afford to kill off any Spider-Man person.
And the fact that they're making a bunch of movies on bad guys, but they're making them like anti-heroes.
Yeah. And will Tom Holland want to do this forever? No.
Hell no.
And by the time they set up all these villains, it's going to be what? Like 10 years later?
Yep.
10 years later, 32-year-old, 35-year-old Tom Holland. I don't know how old he is.
He's gonna look like our boy.
Andrew Garfield.
Yep.
It's going to be...
And he's gonna still be 5'8".
I don't know. I don't trust Sony.
Never have, never will.
It's your room. I just spit in it.
I don't know. I just felt like it. All right. Let's move on to a section called "What's on the Telly." Honestly, I've vented to you about me not having any time for anything. The only thing I've been watching on the telly is Euphoria, which you still haven't watched.
Correct.
It's very dark right now. What the episode's going through, a lot of drug use. I don't know. Definitely not It's not an intellectually satisfying show, but it's very visually satisfying, and it's entertaining. It's not complex. It's kind of complex. I don't know. I guess my takeaway right now is that it's a little too much. I wish a little bit more was.
They're just straight up like giant, like funny looking needle, cartoonish.
Yeah, a lot of drugs. But I like the show. Doesn't mean that I don't like it. I just obviously there's a lot of nuance in this show that I could talk about, but rather not. Anything you're watching on the telly?
I just started yesterday, but rewatching Arrested Development. It's uncanny how many similarities there are between that and Succession. Like if you watch it, it's like almost beat for beat the same show. I didn't steal this. I mean, I stole this.
Oh, I didn't make it up.
Yeah, but I saw like a post like they compared like the dad to like the dad.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, yeah, I guess that's true, but I never like
Thought about it.
And then I started watching yesterday. I was like, this is like the same show. I think you should rewatch at least the first like 2 episodes.
It's a very funny show, and I liked what I saw when I was first watching it. I never finished it because something about comedy shows I don't ever really finish. I think I never get too into them. But yeah, I can see the similarities now, especially like the handheld camera type of thing, like almost like a documentary. Did they talk into the camera?
No.
Oh. Thinking of like a real world type of like, and then Greg told me that I was a jerk.
No.
No, okay, that's something else. Anything else you're watching?
Almost done with Seinfeld.
Oof. How's that?
It was good. Like, I mean, I don't like Jerry. I feel like he's a horrible person.
Whoa. You read something about him.
Not horrible, but like, I mean, it's still a funny show, but like, I don't know. Like, I would not want to be Jerry's friend.
What'd you read? Why, what? What's going on?
He's just not
As far as like him in the show or in real life?
in the show. I mean, I'm sure they're similar in real life.
Because he does bad stuff? Or he's like always talking shit to his friend?
Like I would want to be George's friend. He seems like fun.
Yeah.
Kramer, of course. Come on. Elena, she can do whatever she wants. I don't know, he's definitely like the poison that like hurts all of them in some way. But he's not really a poison. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to describe.
He has a pathology that's negative.
Yeah.
But it's not easily identifiable as
like
negative.
unhealthy, but not like deadly.
Yeah. Like you'll die slowly.
Yeah.
That's a weird take on Seinfeld, a comedic show.
Well, that's good.
I do want to watch it though. It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. I thought you watched it.
No, I watched like the first couple episodes.
Oh.
That'd be something great to watch just to like unwind.
It's
Right?
definitely like you do not think at all. Because they do episodes where like there's meta episodes where he's pitching the Seinfeld show.
Yeah.
Have you seen those or you
No,
just
I haven't.
Do you know of them?
No.
Oh. Well, he like describes the show as like it's a show about nothing.
Uh-huh.
And the producers are like, what? It has to be about something. Like nothing. It's just about day to day doing what you do and the funny moments.
Yep.
And they like say that sucks. We're not buying your show. And there's moments like that.
Yeah. Did you like the soup Nazi scene?
Yeah, I thought it would be more corny when I saw it because it's like such a big. That's part of the reason why I never watched it. I thought like the whole show was
Yeah.
corny like that.
Cornball.
But that episode wasn't even that corny.
Okay. I want to watch it now. I also like the idea, like the music. Boom.
Oh yeah.
And the New York of it all.
Yeah, I mean they only go to like 3 places total.
Okay, so maybe not too much. I love things in New York.
They do talk about like being in New York. I think you'll like it if you like New York.
Yeah. I watched, now that I think about it, we watched Mean Streets. Al Pacino, 1970s.
Familiar?
You know the man? He, basically the story is, 2 guys rob a bank and they have hostages, but they're trying to get out, and the guy that's robbing the bank is delusional. He's trying to get money for his wife, who's a guy
Oh, this
who wants to get a sex
was
transplant.
in Mindhunter.
Yeah, I think it was. The movie was good, very simple in a way, but Pacino, man, his acting is just like so natural.
We need a modern Pacino where it's like he can just
A primal
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah. That's kind of like Shia LaBeouf.
Ah, shy.
His anger was like the most satisfying anger.
Yeah,
They got Transformers movies on Netflix now. I've been wanting to rewatch it.
I saw it the other day. I was like, oh god, Sam Witwicky.
Sam Witwicky, we need your help.
Shia LaBeouf, the great tragedy of Shia LaBeouf.
He's like another artist. Like his life's an art.
Yeah. Too bad now he got Me Too'd because FK Twigs.
Yeah, he like just straight up beats her.
Yeah. So sad, man. Like all these people who end up being bad people.
They're just
But, like,
broken.
Exactly, that's the thing. It's like
That's like another way of like figuring out people are broken, not bad. And then
right.
fixing
It's way easier to say someone's bad than
Yeah.
to say, well, they're actually just very sad
'Cause
inside.
if they're like bad, then it's like I can't be bad like that. But if they're broken, like I could be broken too.
Yep.
Nobody wants to be broken.
Shia LaBeouf. We'll remember you as the prepubescent kid in Even Stevens.
Smelly.
Oh, Ivan, don't you do that.
Smelly.
That kid? He's such a weird face, huh?
He looks the same.
I
just
know.
with like little facial hair. Poor guy.
I think this is it. It's time for a section we call Really Be Bussin'. What you listening to? Oh my god, you did that, but not that. Okay.
Just whatever. Not rap. Like I kind of just play random playlists like on Spotify. Like it's a different sound. I do like radio of that song.
Yes.
And then just play that, let it play, or play nothing. But like no rap really. I've left that planet for better resources elsewhere.
You're traveling the spaces.
Yeah.
No rap for me. I could say I've been listening to jazz because it has no lyrics and it helps me concentrate. I feel like there's I do have some. Nicki Minaj and Lil Baby made a song. Listen to it, and it bumps, but that's all it does. Nicki Minaj could actually be like still making good music hits today, but I think she just makes money other ways. And I think that you could say that like about Rihanna, Cardi B, like all these artists who like, oh, music actually isn't the thing that will make me money.
Both got a text. Kanye West.
Oh, it's Kanye. Come hither.
I was gonna say something.
Nicki Minaj, Lil Baby.
Oh.
The song was good, but it's nothing too crazy.
I accidentally happened upon a Nicki Minaj song when I did like radio.
Mm-hmm.
It was from the Pink Print.
Yep, what song?
I don't remember, but I was like, this is good, and it's not like one of the hits.
Yeah, when Nicki Minaj came out, the reason she was humongous was because she was actually a great rapper, and her flows were probably the best flows in the game. They were so refined and so unique. She can go from like her tough New York flow to like the Barbie flow, which was like a Ivan, what's your hot take on sampling?
Nobody does it right these days besides
Ooh.
Kanye.
Ooh.
I kind of had this thought for a while. But like when I was listening to Certified Lover Boy, there's a song on there that like not even samples, it's straight up the whole beat stolen from a song that's like not even that old, like a year before. It might be Champagne Poetry, that beat.
Oh.
Because it's really good, like the beat.
Yeah.
But then I listened to the song it sampled. It's like, it's literally the beat.
Yeah.
And I don't like that kind of sampling because it's so like, it's not a sample. You're like, if you're Drake, you should be able to pay for the most precisely made beat ever, not a beat someone else made and you literally just rap over.
Right.
Because that's lazy.
Yeah.
Especially if you have like your own personal producer, which is like 40, who knows
How to do it.
Yeah. You might as well just do it right.
Yeah.
And then I was comparing like, why do I, because he does a good amount of sampling throughout the album.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't listened to all like the sources, but that one song stood out because it's like the same exact song.
Mm-hmm.
But like the way, I know Drake doesn't sample himself, but he gets the beat. But when he samples, it's like the theme of the song he samples doesn't align with what he's saying a lot of the times.
Right.
Whereas when Kanye does it, like what he says aligns with the soul of the sample that he sampled.
Gotcha.
And I think that's the only way you should sample. Not that there's like an only way to do something, But it's like on Nice for What? Remember that song?
Yeah.
It kind of has like that same feeling where like it's in a way like almost offensive because it's not like because it's taken away from the spirit of what you're sampling.
What did he sample?
Some Lauryn Hill song.
Oh. Right. Right.
That's just my hot take where like you should pay homage, not just straight up like that sounded nice. Plump. I'm gonna rap about drugs now.
Yeah. I could see that. I don't think it's a prerequisite to sample a song,
Right.
but I think it helps.
Yeah.
But it's only like obvious to someone like us or someone with
think
knowledge.
Subconsciously, like
Like who's a 15-year-old isn't going to care about Lauryn Hill song. They're going to care about Nice for What?
but I think just like subconsciously.
No, not even for that.
Yeah.
They don't know.
But you can feel like the spirit of what the
Oh,
the
you're talking
sam-
about spirits then.
talking about soul, brother. But like when it's the same thing with like Macbeth, you don't know what they're saying, but you can feel what they're saying just by how they.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think with the song, you don't exactly have to know what they're saying, but how they say it gives you a feeling. So if you feel that Lauryn Hill sample and she's talking about like her struggles or whatever, and you have Drake saying what Drake always says, there's like that mismatch.
Is Nice for What Kiki?
No, that's something else. That's not Nice for What.
Oh, because you know you bad.
Yeah.
But that song's about uplifting girls.
Nice for What?
Yeah. Basically, like, it's a woman's, like, anthem.
Maybe.
Like, oh, take everything back. Well, it's just about that. You're talking about that specifically, but, like, it could go with any other kind of trick where the original thing doesn't line up with...
And it wouldn't be so obvious if Kanye didn't do it so well. Because, like, I don't do it to all the songs, but on Donda, there's definitely songs where it's like, where is that sample from? And he, like, changes it a lot. But, like, the core of what the sampled song was is definitely, like, something he's on.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of the song. Or Heaven or Hell?
Yeah.
Like, the sample is, like, Heaven or Hell is here on Earth.
Yeah.
And that's, like, Kanye.
Yeah, I was listening. It's funny that you're bringing this up. I was listening to Earl Sweatshirt interview with Zane Lowe for Apple Music, and he was saying talking about Alchemist, and he was like, Alchemist is dope because when he samples it the right way, and he's like, a lot of the samples he uses, it tells you something about me too.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Like it's not just like a random sample. It's like maybe I grew up with listening to this song, or it's like the message behind the original song is something that I remember.
It's like what I was saying. Like you work on the whole thing. Like you don't just poop out the beat. You gotta choreograph or
coordinate.
There's like for music, like.
Orchestrate.
Yes. You got to orchestrate the whole thing, like top to bottom, pixel by pixel, everything.
In the same interview, which it was very enlightening into how I can dissect his new album, Sick, which I yet to dissect thoroughly. He says, he's like, he asked him, you like dense stuff? And he's like, yeah. He's like, because that's where that's like where the magic happens. Because like in that way, you can live forever.
Uh-huh.
It's like, because there's a bunch of layers to what I'm doing. And it's not obvious right now. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, because my dad was like that as well. He's like, my dad was like that as well. He wrote books. Did you know he was like a novelist or whatever?
Yeah.
He's like, he wrote books and they're very complex, but now I have those books. When he's gone, I still have them here through the books. And he's like, but it was sort of a give or take because I didn't have them growing up because he was so worried about the books.
Right.
That's so weird, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, like either way, he's there,
Yeah.
but in a different way. Shout out to Earl. Now I want to listen to the album. Anything else for the beautiful people out there?
I don't know.
I think that's it. I think next week, I think it's Moonfall then, right? Next week's Moonfall?
We'll see.
Pretty sure. There's not too many movies being released this month, so we'll have a good time doing that movie. And then we'll do a Kanye documentary this month too, probably in 2 weeks or so. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the beautiful people out there. We'll be back next week with another episode of Peliculas with the Pros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
Peace.
Bye.